In my mastermind this morning, we're reading The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. This book was a source of controversy talk page probably about a year ago when we were reading it inside the mastermind. Because I made a video that said, if you've read this book and you've not gotten rich, read it again. And if you are not rich and haven't read the book, then you ought to read it. Well, in going through the book today, we know that as years go on and we revisit material, we continue to study material, the meaning behind the material tends to change. Hi, people on TikTok. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here with me. I am live here and on another platform, so I'm so happy to have you. Today, we're contemplating why it takes effort to be authentic and kind of talking about power, holding personal power, standing your ground. Okay, in the book today, we read the intro, the preface, and chapter 1. And in chapter 1, Wallace D. Wattles talks about doing things in a certain way. And so on the mastermind this morning, I just asked others' opinions on what is the certain way. How do you do things in a certain way in order to get rich, right, as he calls it? And I had some really good feedback. My interpretation of that, I would say, has changed over the years. And I just wanted to come here and share that with you because I think it's very important. And this is something that has come up numerous times in my world. I don't know if you guys are aware of, oh my gosh, just so many different leaders. Like Tony Robbins has his twist on this. Brene Brown has her twist on this. We've got coaches like Cassie and Melanie Layer and all of these different individuals that perceive and interpret this information in their very own way. I'd love some hearts, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. It's not that the information here is new. It's that we tend to, or the journey is locating someone that can describe it in a way that you understand, that comes full circle, that you can truly embody for yourself and make it work in your life. I'm the type of person that can read a book like this and it's like it just sinks into my soul. My heart just knows that it is true. I can just feel it. I've implemented this. I live this material in my daily life, and I desire for everybody to be able to follow the principles in material such as this. And so in chapter 2, when he talks about doing things in a certain way, my interpretation of that these days is to remain in spirit. And if you're not of this material, you've not been in this work at all, you haven't studied any of these leaders, you might hear my kids yelling at each other downstairs. That's okay. I'll do my best to explain what I think that means, and in hopes that it's a reminder to you that if you're currently in a situation that is out of alignment, if you're currently engaged in something that doesn't feel good, if you're currently, pursuing a business where someone says this is the only way to do the business and it doesn't resonate with you and you fail, a good example, multi-level marketing companies. You'll go in and the leader will say, oh, well, in order for you to be successful, you have to do ABC 1, 2, 3. You got to do it this way, post this many times, reach out to this many people, and then you wonder why it works for Betty Sue and Linda Sue, but it doesn't work for you. Why does it work for Scott, but it doesn't work for me? Why is my neighbor able to do it, but I'm not able to do it? This is a conversation worth having, because if someone in your MLM company is able to do it and be successful, why can't you? Today's inspired by The Science of Getting Rich, JP. And this is something I've spoke on a lot in my content over the years, is what makes the situation different for different people. We could have this talk around trust fund babies and rags to riches stories. It doesn't matter in what angle you look at it. People in every single industry, there are people in every single industry that are highly successful. There are people in every single industry that fail miserably. What is the difference? It's generally not the material that's different. The product is the same. The opportunity is the same. The leads are the same. Everything's the same. And so the question is, what's different? Well, this is where I think doing things in a certain way comes in, because it's very obvious that you and someone else, or two people outside of you for yourself, can be given the same opportunity, do the same things physically, but end up with a different result. We have to ask ourselves why that is. Well, I think it lies in the doing things in a certain way. I think it lies in the conversation that it's not about what you do, it's about the energy in which you are in, the energy you're in when you do a thing. It's fully embodied energy. It's personal stamina and power, integrity, authenticity. On Facebook, my little caption there was, why does it take effort to be authentic? Why do we have to try to be authentic? Well, I think first and foremost, a lot of people don't even know who they are to begin with. We don't even know who we are, what kind of power we bring to a company, or what type of organization we belong in, or what we would love to be doing for a career. We don't even know who we are to begin with. And then secondly, I think that we're in it likely for the wrong reasons. Most of the time in businesses, thank you guys for all the love. In business, one of the primary motivating factors of getting into an industry is because of what is in it for you, what's in it for us, right? What you can receive from the opportunity. How much money can we make? What kind of connections can we get? What type of trips can we go on? What can I get out of it? Thank you, Evan, for all the love. The thing about it is, though, when we're in it just for the money, things start feeling rather icky. And you can always tell, like I do these free discovery calls with people, free coaching calls. And I can always tell in what direction they're focused. Because you'll ask, okay, what do you want? Well, what I would love is a trip to the beach. What I would love is to buy this house. What I would love is for me. I want this car. I want this thing. I want this for myself. And then other people will say, what I would love is to make an impact. What I would love is to feed 1,000 children. What I would love is to build this village in Africa. What I would love is to serve in some way. And it's not that either of those are different. I look at this as two sides to the same exact. It's not that one is better than the other. It's just that one is doing things in a certain way and one is doing things in another certain way that isn't going to work very well. And I've learned this the hard way. There is something also to say about boundaries in business, boundaries in life, what you're willing to accept in your results, in your pursuit, who you're willing to do dealings with. If you're allowing yourself to have a lack of integrity, we see in our world that when there is a hunger for money, people lose their integrity. People lose their soundness of mind in the pursuit of stability because we have a survivalistic or a survival mindset. First and foremost, we're here to survive. We need to be able to eat. We need to be able to take care of our young. And so when there's not a stable foundation of financial flow, people tend to lose their moral compass. And so this is why in all my years in business, it's been very important to me to have the conversation around helping people create stability. I know there are a lot of coaches and mentors and people on the internet that want to make you a millionaire. I want you to be a millionaire, have a $100,000 month. Oh my God, $100,000 day. And although that abundance is beautiful and we are all capable and deserving of that beautiful result, the place we need to be at first is one of survival. We need to be able to survive happily. And I'll explain to you the energy of that. And I know this very well because the majority of my life, especially my growing up life, was spent anything other than stable and secure. From month to month, my poor mom didn't know if we were going to be able to stay in our place, right? We didn't know if we were going to have food, if she was going to have a right to work. So I know what it feels like to be unstable. And that's the feeling I think a lot of folks are in, especially these days with the economy. We had a certain way of buying groceries. We've had to relearn this in my house. We got a house of 5. And we've had to relearn how to do grocery list for it to fit within the context of what it is we're doing and what our goals are, right? Hi, Daily Hug. Mwah, love you. I think it's important that we define what it is to be stable, right? We don't go in the pursuit of a business endeavor, whatever, only looking, like I'm not on here saying you should only look at what you can give to another. That's the boundary side. This is the polarity of the coin. You got to give and you must receive. What are we trying to receive? What I know for sure is that when you are stable, when you're secure, when your bills are met, when you're able to eat, when you're able to live and pay your car note, you are able then to step into a place of creativity and flow. You can now take the attention off of you and put it on to others. Now you can make it. You're okay, right? You have a house, you have a car, you have a, sorry, hang on. Can you, is it Shamim? culture, sorry. If you could report them, that would be great. If you would also like, my social medias are linked on my profile. If you could screenshot that and send it to me. Sorry, these impersonators, they block me, so I'm not able to see them doing that, and that is really aggravating. I don't like that. That's very frustrating when that happens, but that's only because they're not in their authenticity, right? And they're trying to just survive. Think about why people do that. Oh man, such a good conversation. Let me circle back. What I would love for us to do here on this live stream is to think about, what do you really need to feel stable, to feel secure, and to feel like you are okay? How much money do you need to pay your expenses to just get by, so that we can put you in a place where you can get into creativity, where you can download, if you will, become aware of, think about, contemplate, play around with an idea that could single-handedly change your life? Do you know how many people I've met? Look at my chest, I get red talking about it because it's miraculous. You know how many people I've met that once they let go of all the external noise, of all the, well, you should be doing this, and that didn't work in our family, and you might not want to turn that way, and you better listen to Tom, Dick, and Harry, because those three boys know all the answers, although it didn't work for them. You best not open that restaurant. Artists and singers and actors, that's not a real job. It's all puny. Write a book. Who's going to fucking read the book? Like, all of this external chatter keeps you small. All of this external chatter and you following the guidance of the external chatter is what keeps you competitive, is what keeps you fighting with each other, fighting for attention, fighting for the position, fighting for the stability. It's never going to work. We got to shut ourselves out from external noise and do what feels right. Recently, I had a situation where I made an investment in a company, a very hefty one. And the idea was that they were going to come in and redo my whole business from the ground up. And this company is incredible. They're amazing. They've done so much good for me, but I learned something incredible. And that is that no one outside of me has access to my intuition quite the way that I do. No one quite gets the way that I like to do things in my world, right? There's a difference in, here's a strategy that works, and here's your intuition. Here's a strategy that works, and here's an intuition. Here's the emails that should go out, but here's the emails I like to send. And so the magic in this dance is, how do we find the ways that these go together? And this is why it's so important to have a team that you can collaborate with. People that you can collaborate with, not friends that just completely shoot down your idea. What if, instead of us operating, there's a cardinal outside my window, and that's I wonder if I can show TikTok. Maybe. Let's see. Oh my God. Oh, can you see her? Where'd he go? He's the red one. Oh, please tell me you can see it. Can you see it? I can't see if you can see it or not. It's right there. I hope you can see this bird. This is my spirit animal. Let me see. Oh yeah, right there. You see? That is so cool. Oh my God, that is so cool. You see it? Yeah, you got to see it now. Okay. All right, anyway, I got distracted. That is that's how you know what we're talking about is so good. Okay, sorry, Facebook, for that. I forgot what I was saying. So beautiful. Thank you. Let me catch up on comments. Facebook is literally saying that no one's here with me. Oh no, don't cancel. This is why I don't do Facebook. Because why would you? Why would you do that when they don't push your stuff? I used to get thousands of views, and now zilch. I did hear somewhere that they were pushing smaller accounts. Not even one single like. Absolutely crazy. Oh, you don't have much wildlife where you live. I don't know what you mean by that. You were talking about your intuition. Oh, perfect. Okay. That is what I was talking about. The message that has come through for me, and quite an expensive lesson, is that there is a feeling that you get when you know you're headed in the right direction. And there's a feeling that you get when you know that what you're doing is not what you should be doing, or that you should pivot. You should lead yourself in a different way, even when it feels illogical. And so what we were talking about this morning in the mastermind is kind of this idea around how expensive following your intuition or that feeling, how expensive that can get. Sometimes I think when you're headed towards something great and something big, you can come up on a strategy that really makes sense for you. You can, oh, you should do a podcast. We were talking about podcasts. We were talking about, doing it on social media, doing an email campaign, being a writer. All of the ways work. All of the ways that maybe you could use to pursue business will get you business. All of them work. Every person uses every strategy and does it successfully, but that doesn't mean that every strategy is meant for you. That doesn't mean that every profession is meant for you. That doesn't mean that every company that is working for somebody else is going to work for you. And this is how people start looking like chickens with their heads cut off. It's shiny object syndrome, where we're running from one thing to another thing. I don't know why people like this guy comes here if he doesn't like what we're talking about, baby. There you go. This is how we move from one thing to the other, and we never get a result because we miss out on staying power. We need staying power. We calling. And I often say to folks, there's a difference between intuition and impulse. An intuitive hit is something that you've likely wanted to do for a very long time. And a lot of times it's like some type of creative business, some type of brand new business endeavor that you've never really gotten a lot of support for. When you talk to your friends and family about it, they don't really take you seriously. If this idea keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming, could it possibly be that it's a God whisper? Could it possibly be that the universe is looking for expansion and fuller expression through you? An impulse, however, is when you're scrolling on TikTok and you see Alex Hermosi or whatever his name is say, oh my God, I'll send you $1,000 worth of free products if you sign up for school, create a community, sell your course, and give me access to it. Boom. It's completely free, and you don't realize that it's $99 a month until you sit and you fill out all the forms and you're all the way in and you're ready to hit go, and it says, bloop, credit card information, please, $99 a month. You know what I'm saying? That is like quite the impulsive move. And so I think that if we could slow down for a moment and learn to hear the voice, learn to follow the nudge correctly, learn to not fall back on a jaded paradigm, not fall back on a bunch of limitations, a bunch of false ideas, a bunch of things that affirm and reconfirm an identity that we no longer want to be. If we could do this, we could move out of survival mode. We could create results so that we could go beyond survival and we could make something of ourselves. It is really difficult, at least in my opinion, it is really difficult to make money in an authentic and loving and beautiful way and start leading the life you want when you're doing so in a place of scarcity, in a place of separation. I made a video, and I wish my friend was on here. What's his name? I forget his name. He's so sweet, though. He did a stitch on one of my videos there, and we had a phone call. I think it's Brian. And I was reading a book called Don't Believe Everything You Think. And in the book, the author said, you need to create goals out of inspiration and not desperation. And this fella had done a video back to me and said, but a lot of the best things I've ever had in my life were created out of a place of desperation. I did it because I had to, not because I wanted to. And just because I had to do it, and I had to get grit, and I had to do it, it ended up turning out extraordinary. I got to thinking, I think you're right. I think that where we start on this journey called life, reality, is likely a place of desperation, for most of us at least. But the question I asked back to him, and this is what got us on a call, is, at what point do you stop creating out of desperation and allow yourself to be inspired? At what point is the pursuit of stability no longer as important as the pursuit of living an exponential life? That's what I was going to say. A life full of ecstasy and zest and fun. I was on a call. I'm going to turn this off over here. I was on a call with... This is so interesting. On Facebook. Maybe it's because my face is inverted and people are like, oh God, Catherine looks crazy when her face is inverted. End live video. End. I'm putting you back. All right, awesome. I'll regather my thought. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for the likes. You're so sweet. We're already at 3K in 20 minutes. You guys are amazing. You like my squish ball? I'm a fidget person. I like fidgets. I play with fidgets and fidget spinners. I'm surprised. Oh, look. Look at this. I've got in my drawer. That's just my vibe. I sit here and I just do this because I can't sit still. I think they call that on here like what? ADHD, neurospicy, something like that. Oh, I blocked that person. Thank you, Amanda, for your heart or for your rose, baby. You're so beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, let me regather my thought. When I get in the zone, I get in the zone. And if I allow myself to get distracted, oh, did Marcus just join my live? He better not. I have this thing with my husband where, that's so funny. I have this thing with my husband where if he gets on my stuff, like I kick his ass. He's not allowed to do any of that. That's so funny. I'm telling him I'm gonna kick his ass. Okay, I called him an asshole, like W-H-O-L-E. Whoops. All right, I have an idea. Yes, hyperfocus, you're right. When I get out of hyperfocus, I lose it. Victoria, you could come up as a guest and talk to us. Victoria in the comments section is on my mastermind. We've been contemplating life together for years. It's been really good. Let me read you some of the highlighted lines in this. Oh, I know what I can tell you. So when I posted a video about the science of getting rich, he said I didn't mean to. You completely threw me off, asshole.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Let me read you what I highlighted on the mastermind today. Oh, when I made that video, the Science of Getting Rich video, back in 2023, we had two responses. One, people were really, really inspired. The other one, people were absolutely pissed. When you tell people that are not doing well in life financially, that they have some sense of responsibility for it, that their poverty is not all to blame on somebody else, someone that's poverty stricken, that it's not just the economy that's keeping them broke, that it's not their upbringing, it's not their lack of education, it's not anything at all whatsoever that you could point the blame to. When you tell people that do not have a growth mindset, they get pissed off, they get aggravated and irritated, and it does not feel good. I'm here to tell you right now exactly what someone had to tell me back at the beginning of 2020. You are responsible for your results. And when you don't get the results you want, you have nowhere to look except in your own mind. You have nowhere to look except in your own affairs, because I can guarantee you without a shadow of a doubt, I just came up with this the other day, it came to me. You can think or do things on a daily basis, and they all, thinking and doing, all thoughts and actions will fall into one of three buckets. One bucket is maintenance. You can think a maintenance thought or you can do a maintenance action. Take a shower, cook some food, feed the dog, whatever. The other one is moving you toward your goal. So let's say we have a goal, and today we're talking about what can we make in your life just to get you stable, where you feel good, you got a little bit more than what you need, but now we can take that leap of faith and move into the God zone, move into the creator zone, move into the process of personal and conscious creation. That's our goal today, is how much money, tell me how much money do you really need? Tell me how much money you really need. Anything idea is a growth goal or a growth action, a growth thought. The third one is directly moving you further away. See, we've got this idea of fence sitting, stagnation. I don't believe in that. The law says otherwise. All things in this universe, to our knowledge, are in motion. All things are in motion, and that includes us. It's egotistical to think that us little bitty humans on this planet are the only things that go against natural universal law. You are either creating or disintegrating. You're either expressing or suppressing. You're either moving forward or moving backward. So the third bucket is things that are keeping you further away from where you're headed. Doom scrolling, gossiping on the phone with your girlfriends, having a conversation with a family member about how your idea is not going to work, engaging in a Facebook thread where people are saying that the product you want on the Amazon storefront page thing isn't going to be in stock ever again. And even if it is, the product sucks and it's terrible and your investment sucks. You either are maintenancing, moving forward, or moving backward. And if we could pay very close attention to this, it is in the minutia. It is in the simplicity. It is in the teeny tiny little things, the tiny habits, the small actions, the individual thought. You can only think one thought at a time. How many of these accumulated 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day are focused on moving forward and maintenance versus moving backward and maintenance? We have to take accountability for where we're at. You cannot, please hear me on this. You cannot create a result in your physical experience without following the process of creation. And I'll give it to you. It's very simple. It's very simple. If hearing it was enough, if just hearing it was enough, then you would have heard it and done something with it. And we wouldn't be having a conversation like this. Well, we'll always have these, but we wouldn't feel stuck. That is, number one, we need to have an imaginative idea. And so I don't know where you're at in the world today. I normally have you guys tell me where you're tuning in from. Wherever you're sitting at in the world today, you are sitting on TikTok and choosing to have a proactive conversation versus doom scrolling about how the United States government is terrible and Joe Biden had some crazy thing happen. I saw that earlier today too. Something happened to him. So this is a good first start. We are now in imaginative. This is the first step of creation. You got to have an idea in the eye of God, i.e. imagination, in order for you to do the second step, which is intellectualize. And this is why Bob Proctor, the granddaddy of personal development, would say, you show me what you want and I'll show you how to get it. How could he say that? Because the law is the law. Because the law will apply and works for everything. Every time, no matter what your goal is, the law works. No matter what you're pursuing, you'll follow the process of creation. Imagine an idea, move it through the intellect, and then the part that 99% of people that I work with are missing is integration, is actually doing something about it. My grandma used to say, want in one hand, shit in the other, and see which one fills up faster. And I've come to understand that these days is as we can, stay up at night worried. We can talk to our friends about how things aren't working, about how our job is unfair, about how we don't make enough money, and we just want to feel good, and we just want to be able to pursue the things we love, and we can do all of this. But the honest question is, what are we going to do about it, right? Yeah, that sucks. And I can sympathize with you, and I can have compassion, but what are we going to do about it? And that's why I know the work works. Because if you can tell me what you don't like and what isn't working in your life, what I want to know is, what do you want, number one? How can we do it strategically? What feels okay? We need to, thank you, Amanda. There's things that feel okay. And then there's things that are going to push the buck. Oh, thank you so much. I'll take a picture. I love celebrating. Thank you so much. There's things that you can do automatically, and then there are actions you can take that are going to push the buck. It's your next big move. I know Tony Robbins encourages people to always be taking that next big uncomfortable step. I don't say that. Save your power moves. You can save your power moves. You're not every single day ready to take a big uncomfortable action. Not every single day are you going to conquer the biggest fear you've ever had in your whole fucking life. But every day you can do what you know to do. So if we're going to open any kind of business in the whole world, hi to Kai, in the whole wide world, the first thing we need is visibility. We need people. So how are we going to get people? Are we going to do that invisibly behind a shield and have other people do it? Are we going to be a writer? Are we going to be on video? Are we going to be on audio? Are we going to be on podcast, on stages? We need to know what we can do. And then we need to know the exponential moves, and we can put those in our pocket for the moment where we feel like it's time to do something big. I want us to have an idea, to create an intellectual game plan on tactical, practical things, and then I want us to do it. And it sounds so simple that people miss it. It sounds so simple that people miss it. This is the formula to get what you want. There is a way to do things where mentally you know it's going to work. We're not questioning whether it works. And this is why my modality, or my whatever you want to call it, philosophy, is for people to learn and these principles and have these conversations outwardly before attempting to apply it to themselves, so that you can realize, like I said earlier, it is rather egotistical to think that you are the only one in the entire universe that does not have access to the very laws that govern nature. We are in a gigantic pulse beat. We are in a gigantic washing machine. Things are always going. Things are always moving. Things are always available. There is an infinite number of possibilities in your world. And I don't mean career possibilities. Sometimes people say, I'm only 4'5". I could never be an MBA, whatever. I'm talking about possibilities that you desire, not things you don't want to do. I think we could do anything, but I mean the things you really want to do. There are an infinite number of ways that you could make that happen. You never know if the conversation to your next door neighbor that makes him think about a thing to tell his wife, and the wife tells the daughter, and the daughter talks to her friend, and the friend drops her coffee, so the guy across the street comes and helps her, and she's on the phone talking about the thing that you said, and all of a sudden that creates an opportunity for you. You never know. This is the certain way, though. The certain way is, do you walk believing that that's how it works? Or do you walk believing that life sucks and you're a victim? I know I used to. I actually didn't know how I walked. I think that would be more accurate to say. I didn't know that walking in any way was even a thing. I just thought that everybody thought that the world was the same, and that, some people had a hand up, some people didn't. But I've since learned what it really takes to be successful, and that's not living in victim mode. It doesn't work. It's never going to work. But the beautiful part about creation, at least as I know it, is that you have a choice to do that. We all have a choice. We can choose to live in victim mode. We can choose to feel sad on a daily basis. We can choose to wake up and not be grateful. We can choose to not love ourselves like our best company. We can choose not to make the money that we want. We can choose not to perfect our skills and grow as a person. But you don't have to. You can easily choose the opposite. You can easily create an extraordinary life. What if an extraordinary life was on the other side of 3 steps? Create an idea, intellectualize how the fuck you're about to do it, and then do it. It's so simple that we miss it. I'll tell you something else. I believe I create my reality. Amen. I'll tell you something else. One of the number 1 debilitators in people's lives is proximity. I've been a life coach now since 2020, full-time, completely quit my full-time job and retired my husband within 60 days of getting on a sales team. Came out on my own a couple years ago, independent, have been doing it ever since. Fell headfirst into this and have never looked back. I've spoke to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients, maybe thousands. I might be over thousands of clients. We need to count that. Masterclasses, webinars, group coaching, one-on-one coaching. We need to count that up so I can say that correctly. I do know I've spoke to thousands and thousands of people. And one of the number 1 debilitators is proximity. When your grandparents, your mama, your daddy, whatever, would tell you, girl, son, you hang with dogs, you get fleas. If you hang with dogs, you get fleas. That's what mine used to say. Want in one hand, shit in the other. When you hang with dogs, you get fleas. That's what my mama used to say. She'd be like, well, Katie, you wonder why you ain't going nowhere. All the people you hang around ain't got nothing to show for it. They're out there lollygagging all day long, ain't got not a daggone thing to show for it, and you're wondering why you ain't getting nowhere, honey. That's exactly why, because you hang with dogs, you get fleas. Get pulled over in a car with people that have things they shouldn't have. End up with a ticket before I was 18 years old. Go home and tell my grandma, that wasn't fair. Well, you hang with dogs, you get fleas. Was with a friend that shoplifted at Stephen Barry's after I was 18 years old. Ended up having to do community service and write an essay, and then whatever it did to get off my record. Cried to my mom and my grandma. You hang with dogs, you get fleas. Get me out of this, mama. I can't do this. Come to court and get me out of. You hang with dogs, you get fleas. You deserved it. All the way up to growing up. People are really critical about this idea of don't be a chameleon. She changes no matter who she's around. She changes and she modifies. Or he changes depending on the crowd he's hanging out with. That's human nature. That's called adaptability. We have leaders, we have followers, and we have the ones that understand when to follow and when to lead. We have ones that wait to be invited, and we have the inviters. We have the people that bring their own belonging, and we have people that, even when they're invited, don't feel that they belong. Proximity is very important. Proximity is paying attention to what you are allowing in your perception. If I told you, do you love the color of Applegonda? The closest thing you could think of for that color might be apple. What color of apple? Is it red or green? But you wouldn't know the color I'm talking about, right? Because it's not in your perception. What if failure wasn't in your perception? What if failure wasn't in your perception? What if you were around a group of people that even if it didn't work the first time, we're not having a conversation about how your whole life and it sucks, everything's falling apart, everything's falling out of the fucking sky. We're just saying, okay, great feedback. Have you tried this? What about this one? See, the other thing is we're real quick to give up when the reason we're pursuing something isn't big enough, right? We're not having a conversation here about walking in blind faith. And that means believing in universal concepts or universal laws when things are going good. I say this all the time. Thank you, Christy. I don't give a shit if you're grateful when your life looks great. I don't give a shit if you're grateful when everything is going awesome. Selling and people are calling and your husband loves you and wants to eat you up like scrumptiddlyumptious and your kids are behaving and everything feels good. Okay, rightfully so. That's like a participation trophy. What I care about is, can you hold the power of that gratitude when things don't look so good? Can you hold your desire toward that goal when things ain't looking so good? That's power. That is a certain way. That's what makes people stand out. That's the difference. That's the difference between the people that make it and the people that don't. Not your age, gender, skin color, educational level, your geographical location, your skill set, your public speaking abilities, your writing abilities, your punctuation. None of that matters. The difference is how do you carry yourself? What is in your head? Proximity, huge. You are, Bob would say, which I'm sure he adopted from someone else, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around. Have you ever looked at the salaries? Not that we're only talking about money here. You can, any area of life. Salaries, career, whatever, vocation, relationship status, what else? General undercurrent, happy, sad, angry, frustrated. Have you ever looked at the 5 people you spend most of your time around and then looked at yourself? Not as you, because you're not you, but from a very objective standpoint. The way I like to do this, honestly, you can sit here and close your eyes and literally pull yourself out of yourself and look down. You can become a watcher. You can observe yourself. Kind of think of it as, like, let's say that your house has video cameras, or a video camera was following you around everywhere. And you were able to watch 30 days worth of your activities, your inactivities, you're listening to your conversations, you download all of this information in a very short period of time. Could you see then that you really are the average of the 5 people you hang around? Could you then see that you really do think about shit that is not serving you more than you think about where you're going? What baffles me about this work is that it is so simple that when I have a conversation like this, I'm asked, okay, what else? What else do I do? What's next? What's the big thing? Tell me the thing. Tell me the secret. Do you have the secret? You don't have the secret. Do you have the secret? Did he have the secret? Do you know anyone that's got the secret? I've been thinking about going to an ashram in India to get the secret. I am practicing transcendental meditation so that I can find the secret. I don't think there is a secret. You know what the secret is? I think you're the secret. I love you guys. I think you're the secret. Everybody here could tell me what the next thing you need to do to pick yourself up and be successful is. That's going to be having a conversation. It's going to be getting out of that relationship. It's going to be ending that friendship with that person. It's going to be starting a new friendship. It's going to be making that investment. Oh, this isn't going to work. It's going to be writing a business plan. It's going to be, even if you don't know how to write a business plan, figuring out how to. It's going to be getting your car's oil changed. It's going to be spending a day with your children uninterrupted with no phone. Some, it's going to be making the biggest investment you've ever made in your whole life. Whether that be emotionally, with time, traveling the furthest you've ever traveled, or deciding you'll never go anywhere ever again, or taking your head out of your ass. Everybody knows what the next move is. But that doesn't mean that it's not scary. I don't like scary. You know what I like? Uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. If you walk away with nothing on this, at least in this little part, keep this stored in your head. At any given moment, you've got 2 little buckets that you can pull from. If you want to change your life in any given moment, you've got 2 little buckets you can pull from. One are the simple steps you know you could do, even if it's 1% better, even if it's, coming up with 2 brand colors for your brand guide for your new business, messing around with your logo for 5 minutes, something. You've got the things you know you could do pretty effortlessly. You just need to be disciplined. And then you got those bold moves. You might not at any given moment have like 5 bold moves. You probably just have one thing that you're like, oh my God, that would be scary. Yes, of course, but you can do it. I was listening to Melanie Lair, and I love her. She's a really beautiful talker, speaker, storyteller. And I resonate with a lot of what she says. And one thing that she was talking about was, she'll have conversations with folks, and they'll be like, well, I don't want it to be hard, or, oh, that's hard, or that fire is hot, or whatever. And she's like, yeah, it is. Walk through it. Well, I want an extraordinary life. I want to be able to fly on the jets and do the thing and have the thing and have the boat and do the thing, but it seems like a lot of work. I'm going to have to walk through fire. Yep, you are. You are, because if leading an extraordinary life was for everybody, or was easy, it is for everybody. If it were easy, then everybody would do it. And that takes me back to my idea that I think it's so simple that we miss it, but that doesn't mean it's easy. And easy is even a relative term, because what's easy to one may not be easy to another. But we can, take it back to one of those old-timey quotes. Nothing good All good things are on the other side of fear. And then in the comments, no growth in your comfort zone. I believe that 100%. Beyond even motivational talk right now, let's think logically around how we learn. In order for you to have an actual, in your own head, feedback of a thing, you need to experience it to some degree. So you need to either have done it yourself, like a live, okay, if you want to go live for your business. You can listen to Here Comes Tom, Dick, and Harry again, telling you how live streaming is. Someone will say, oh my God, it's the most terrifying thing ever, and everyone makes fun of me. I've had a few asswads in my comment section here. It's terrible. It's terrible. They're going to keep me up at night. My whole business is going to shut down. People are mean. They're bullies. I'm like, oh, bad. Some other people would be like, it is so easy, girl. You just hit go live, look out the window, don't even think about it, type on your computer, you'll become a millionaire. Don't worry. Tell me where the legitimacy of your opinion will actually come from. Through doing it yourself. Through doing it yourself. I have become aware, my husband and I were just talking about this. I became aware after years of coaching and speaking and leading that I'm pretty good at explaining complex spiritual and philosophical ideas in a simplistic, understandable, and most importantly, implementable way. But this is not something that I imagined, I intellectualized, let me practice, and then I became. It's something I became aware of by doing other things. So the same is true with wherever you're at, okay? Thinking logically about the comfort zone. In order for you to know if you like speaking, go speak so that you can get your own experience. In order for you to know if you like drop shipping, if you like making music, if you like being in music videos, if you like working with fashion or doing makeup or being a writer, in order for you to know, you got to do it. You got to do it yourself. And in the name of comfort, for most people, comfort is just doing the shit you've always done. But tell me this, when did your new experience barometer fill up? 29, 31, 35, 42? When did what you do become what you're always going to do, and anything beyond what you're currently doing is now uncomfortable? When did that happen? On what date was that? There's another old saying. Well, these are coming to me today. I should write these down. Stuck in your ways. Stuck in your ways. I think the closest answer I would have to that, oh, if you've been walking through fire for everyone else, you might as well do it for yourself. Amen. To answer my own question there, the only material I can source off the top of my head is Dr. Joe Dispenza, where he says that that your pathways in the brain are basically concreted by the age of 33 years old. And that's basically being stuck in your ways. And then by the age of like 37, you're about to hit a midlife crisis because you've experienced all ranges of emotion and now there's nothing else to experience. So you think that having more, gambling situations or dramatic spins or whatever it is going to be the cure to make you feel again. But really, the idea is that you have to learn how to feel more deeply about things you're already familiar with. So the dandelion will remain the dandelion. But to grow spiritually is to deepen your feeling about the dandelion that has always been there. Let me to you. God just gave this to me, whatever you want to call it, just came to mind. Speaking of dandelion, we read somewhere, I think it was God Works Through Faith, about the daisies maybe that are referenced in the Bible. I can't tell you the Bible story because I don't know them, but there was a day probably 6 months ago where my son and I were outside and we were walking on the side of my house, and we've got, the big city like trash cans, the black trash can, and it's parked next to the house there, and right in front of the trash can was this really pretty yellow dandelion. And I'm like, come on, trying to get him to go. And he stopped and he was pointing. I have a picture of it. He was pointing at the dandelion and telling me how pretty the flowy is. Mommy, look at the flowy, And I stopped because I thought it was cute, and I snapped the picture, And then I thought about it. And I wrote a Facebook post about it. You should go find it. Does that dandelion worry about how much rain it's going to get tomorrow? Does the dandelion worry that its beauty is going to be taken away because it's planted in front of a trash can? Does that dandelion sit there in fear because it's got a big, black, scary, bulgy, monster-looking thing hovering up behind it? No. Is the dandelion going to die soon? Yes. Did the dandelion's little seed get brought into a perfect place for its flourishment by the bridge of incidents and the perfect divinity of nature? Yes. Is the dandelion's life by law? Absolutely. We are made of the same thing. And I don't care in what direction you study, whether it is scientific, it's philosophical, it's religious, whatever. Oh, good. Let's see. Wait, Dr. Joe Martini. John, I'll look it up before I get off here and see if his face or work looks familiar. Does he have books or is a lecturer or what? It doesn't matter what direction you come in. All of them point to the same thing. There is a universal stuff. Thank you for being here with me. I'm 56 and every day is new. Every rose is more beautiful than the last one. Feels are deeper. Hi, KK Catherine. I love that. Spelling the same too. That's crazy. Fun fact, I spelled my name wrong all the way through middle school. It wasn't until I found my birth certificate that I quit adding an E at the end. Books and classes. I'll look him up, babe. Let me read you something. I think it's in here. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, which permeates, penetrates. Hang on. Ah, look. I turned right to that page. How about that? It's not even bookmarked, is it? Nope. Let me read this to you. As the years go by and I continue to read this, or it keeps coming back to my awareness, it means deeper and deeper things. Let me read this to you. I'm going to see. Here we go. Okay. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, penetrates, permeates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that's imaged by the thought. Man can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. In order to do this, man must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. This is exactly what we were talking about at the start of this live, if you were here. He must form a clear mental picture of the things he wants and do with faith and purpose all that can be done each day, doing each separate thing in an efficient manner. This book was written 114 years ago. 114 years ago. We were talking on the mastermind today. Do you realize how much opportunity we have this day and age? We have the internet, we've got people, we have material. Even Elon Musk says this is the era of learning, of education. You can learn anything you want on the internet. You can go look in a freaking encyclopedia on how to give yourself a foot stent, sew some stitches, have a tincture, create a medicine, cure cancer, create a billboard, paint a picture, draw, sing, fix your voice, get rid of the lag in your internet, whatever it is. You can figure anything out. Can we read this one more time, please? I don't know how I could send this to you. Notify me, and I'll send you a picture of this so that you can read it to yourself every single day, every single day, every single day. If this applies to everything else, why doesn't it apply to you? It does apply to you. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. Man can form things in his thought and, by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. In order to do this, man must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. He must form a clear mental picture of the things he wants. Remember the process of creation. We're just talking about this. 3 steps: imagination, intellect, physical. There's imagination. He must form a clear mental picture of the things he wants and do with faith and purpose all that can be done each day. So we first have to intellectualize what can be done, the bucket, right? The 2 buckets. Doing each separate thing in an efficient manner. Execution. It's called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. He's literally talking about creation because this is nothing new. This is nothing new. Anybody on the internet that talks about these concepts and claims that they made them up is full of crap. It isn't new. None of this is new. It's been here. It ain't going anywhere. We can learn in our lifetime all of this and take advantage of it. We can learn all of this in our lifetime and take advantage of it, or not. It'll be here. It was here before you came. It'll be here when you go. Either way is have to, like I said earlier, you don't have to lead an extraordinary life. But if you don't, I at least think it's only fair that you know why you didn't. I don't think it's fair for people to not realize what they're capable of. And unfortunately, governments, this and that, will do anything they can to keep you from realizing how freaking amazing you are. You want us to be slaves. Now we get into conspiracy, right? But that's how it feels. Because if everyone knew how powerful they were, no one would stay stuck. If everyone really truly knew what they were capable of doing, then they would start doing things. I think we should pick a book off my bookshelf and read from it. So I've got, let's do, to keep it safe on this shelf, 67 books. Someone give me a number between 1 and 67 and I'll go pick a book. Anybody? Here's the bookshelf. Give me a number between, is it normal to have waves of energy to go after your goal? Absolutely. 65. Okay. Let's see. 5, 6, 14. One of my favorites. One of my favorites, Laura. All right, this is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. One of my favorites. All right, how many pages? You can give me a page number, Laura. 1 second. We got 1. Oh, wow. 111. Okay, hang on. Yeah, I got all the goodies. Not all of them, a lot of them. So page 9 through 111, Laura. We'll see what your message for us is. 9 through 111, Laura, please. Okay, shall do. Boom. Applying the law of giving. I will put the law of giving into effect by making a commitment to take the following steps. Number 1, wherever I go and whomever I encounter, I will bring them a gift. The gift may be a compliment, a flower, or a prayer. Today, I will give something to everyone I come into contact with, and so I will begin the process of circulating joy, wealth, and affluence in my life and in the lives of others. Today, I will gratefully receive all the gifts that life has to offer to me. I will receive the gifts of nature, sunlight and the sound of the birds singing, spring showers or the first snow of the winter. I will also be open to receiving from others, whether it be in the form of a material gift, money, a compliment, or a prayer. And number 3, I will make a commitment to keep wealth circulating in my life by giving and receiving life's most precious gifts. The gift of caring, affection, appreciation, and love. Each time I meet someone, I will silently wish them happiness, joy, and laughter. How beautiful. That was a really good reminder. Guys, I love you all more than pickles, more than freshly sharpened pencils. I really do, and I want nothing more. That's great, Laura. I want nothing more than just to, continue to help people think a little bit deeper. Think about what you could create a plan to do it, and then do it. I do 2 things in my world, and they're very distinct and they're very different. One, which is what I've been doing for most of the time, is coaching. And to me, coaching is almost like accountability coaching, holding you to a higher standard, helping you define what you want, and then helping you get there, because I love nothing more than integration and results. The other thing I do is mentorship, which to me is holding a higher level conversation for those that can understand it. Creating an environment and a space to contemplate ideas, to have conversations, to generate an energy that you don't take our ideas, but you get so engulfed in the feel-good energy that you start having new ideas of your own. And this to me is, philosophizing, modern day philosophy, really breaking down these concepts in a way that are applicable today, implementable today, and how we can make these things work for us. And I am very blessed, honored, and grateful that I was put into this material as early on in life as I was. I know a lot of people say they wish they would have heard it sooner. But the beauty in this is that because I am well embodied, and I do believe this with every single ounce of my being, that I'm able to help you collapse time. So it's never too late. It is not too late to lead an extraordinary life. Your whole world can look different in a matter of months, especially 6 months. You can do the most magical things in 6 months. In 3 months even. I mean, it's incredible. Collapsing time is doing things that take most people years and years and years, like earning more money than doctors and lawyers in an online business. Do you know this is the norm? This is how it works these days. We've got teenagers making more money than people that spent $200,000 going to school. We've got people in the coaching industry that are leading with their heart, that are not just making nickels and pennies, but creating exponential gains through helping other people, creating iconic results, leading extraordinary lives. These people are there, and if you don't see them, you're in the wrong place. This is the proximity I was talking about. It's there, and you have access to it. The most corny saying, but the one that holds a lot of damn truth, is you really are the only thing standing in your way. And that's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do. I have been given a gift. I embrace it every single day, and every single one of you have a gift too. I didn't know it though. I didn't know what it was, and it wasn't until I took a step and started doing something different that it was I was going to say not gifted to me. It was, the veil was lifted. That's what I'm trying to say. The veil was lifted off of it. And you probably are sitting here today, and if you were asked, you know your gift. But are you doing something with it? Feel free to check out the link in my bio. I've got things, right? I give everyone on the entire internet and the whole entire world one free coaching call, because sometimes all it takes is a little bit of seed planting, a little bit of watering, a little bit of perspective, and a tiny bit of game planning to get you moving ahead. So if you need that, please feel free to book a call with me. I'm happy to talk with you through whatever it is. The questions we go over typically: where are you at? Where do you want to go? What do you think is standing in your way? And then we can make a game plan to get there. I also have free downloads. I have a Healthier Wealth Vault bundle or little mini course that you could do. I have a free Facebook community that you could be in. I am about to hold this beautiful class where you get to come in to my private community for a few days just to try on the experience of being a client. I've got things. And I've built it this way on purpose, because there's a way to get in where you fit in. Everybody is willing and able and ready at a different commitment. made most levels available to most people. So if this is something you want to pursue, please do. I love your love on my content. I love you following along. I love you contemplating life with me and sharing your thoughts. If there's ever anything I can do for you, please let me know. I love you all more than a freshly sharpened pencil, and I will see you on my next live stream. Mwah. Toodles.